game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. That place was rocking. Anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. The Bucs.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lee Goon tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little cleared. But we're joined by Pat Donovan.
It looks like Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little...
No, my camera's broke.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Tampa Tones here. Huncho will be joining shortly. My right-hand man, Huncho, will be in here shortly on the Buccateers as it's our Tune Me Up show. It's our Tune Me Up for a rivalry week. We do a Tune Me Up weekly here, and it's going to be a good one this week. We got Bucs Saints, the long-heated battle of the NFC South. This one will be for first place in the division, potentially, depending on what happens with Atlanta. If you guys are wondering why my voice is a little shot, I was actually at Bucs Eagles Monday Night Football taking combat at Raymond James Stadium. Tampa Tones alongside Huncho here until about 6:15 Eastern or so tonight. Without further ado, we'll bring in Hunch. Hunch, how you doing, brother? After a loss, not the way we wanted the cookie to crumble, but we're going to talk about the Monday Night Football game a little bit in the first half, then get to the Saints game and see if we could take away any positives from that.
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm still trying to get set up over here, but I appreciate you, man. I'm glad you're doing this, even though you ain't feeling too good, man. We're going to kill it tonight like we always do.
Yeah, we is, brother, and we'll let you get set up and we'll let you get situated over there as we continue to coast here, and we're going to go over the Bucs-Eagles game first and foremost, and we're going to get into the Saints game. Going to get into Baker Jameis topics of discussion as Nathan joins us. Hello there. Anyone else here? More people will be on the way, Nathan. I see some people chatting in the other Facebook chat as well. So there's a couple people in the other Facebook chat. That one's through Tampa Tones. There's also the one you're in through Bucs Life News. So it's a beautiful day here, and first and foremost, want to get right at it. Monday Night Football, not the score we wanted, not the final outcome we wanted against the Philadelphia Eagles, but let's be honest, the Eagles are no joke. Probably the most feared contender in the lay of the land throughout the NFC, and maybe even in the NFL in general. The Bucs did fall short 25-11. We're not going to go over every little thing on the docket, but we are going to sum up that game and say our feelings of that game and the situation at hand and how we saved all three of our timeouts, yada, yada, yada. First off, I want to say the atmosphere in Ray J was disappointing. Obviously, the Bucs home crowd was lacking. A lot of Eagles fans in the stands. And it wasn't ideal. Obviously, when you're a home team, you want to make sure you get as much of a big crowd as you can for the Bucs, and that didn't happen. Little to be desired fan-wise. A lot of Eagles fans all the way around, 300 level, 100 level, 200 level. Hunch, any words, if you're with us yet, on the Eagles fans being crazy in there? And Nathan has a comment to say, and it was a terrible turnout for a Monday Night Football game and for Rondé's celebration. Yeah, that's what lacking means, Nathan. The crowd was lacking, which is what we just said here, buddy. Hunt, any words to add to that? I mean, I said it, Nathan said it. The crowd was a disappointment.
I couldn't quite hear you. I'm still setting up my monitor. I need like 2 more minutes, but repeat the question. I can hear you now.
I was just saying the crowd was a huge disappointment on Monday night. Thoughts on that?
As far as the crowd's going, I mean, it's pretty typical. It happens with Bucs fans. and with selling their tickets, because you sometimes triple your money, with a couple games and stuff like that. But and I want to say this: it's a lot of Philly fans that actually live down here also that people don't understand, and it's a year without Tom Brady, man. So it's a lot of things that's going to change, man. I don't agree with it, but that's what it's going to be until we start picking up and winning more games again.
Yeah, I agree with you. And even with Brady, you would see random Lions or Rams jerseys potentially and glimpses of other jerseys as well. And if you've been to Ray J or if you noticed on television this year, there's one big change in Raymond James Stadium, which is one half of the tunnel where the field goal posts are behind it. They were always open until last year. Then they added in about 3,000 seats in the south end zone. They called it the Crow's Nest. And now that whole area is gone. So obviously they sold more tickets with Brady. They sold more tickets to Bucs fans with Brady. I had a friend who had season tickets in the Crow's Nest, but obviously the Bucs were preparing for ticket sales to be down this year by removing the Crow's Nest. And Hunch, what are your thoughts on the Bucs putting a Crow's Nest up, those 3,000 plus seats up for one season? Obviously, it was a money grab, and now it's gone. So the Crow's Nest is no longer.
Yeah, it's most definitely a money grab, and that's the thing with this organization. It's a lot of things that's money grab related, and I just feel like, yeah, they had a whole new beach chair out there. They had a section for Brady, but that's what you expect from the GOAT. I mean, he's going to draw in a large amount of crowds. He's going to bring his own fan base with him also. So you got to spread out and get as much people in the house to support the team as you see, as when we did compared to now. If you don't have that support, a lot of people don't believe it or they don't understand it in Tampa yet, but the crowd actually makes a difference. And just like when you with the Saints, they have a crowd noise factor. You have Arrowhead, they have a crowd noise factor. You have the Seahawks crowd noise factor. Even the Vikings with the Skull chant. Those type of organizations and fans, they're going to support their team and they don't care. And I think a lot of these fans in Tampa they either thought it was basically Brady or we gained a lot of people to come watch the games that weren't really truly Bucs fans, but they started watching because the atmosphere changed and the aura that Brady bought. So they started purchasing tickets, and certain people just go get season tickets, and they just keep going and to games, sell their tickets. But this year is it going to be a little different year until we can start proving that we're winners against legit teams.
Huncho, I agree with you there. And speaking of legit teams, Eagles are absolutely a legit team. As we talked a bit earlier, one of the best in the NFL, if not the best in the NFL at this given time. Jalen Hurts is a perennial MVP candidate at this point. You had A.J. Brown, Quez Watkins out there, Dallas Goedert, a lot of weapons. Their running game seems to be clicking. You got DeAndre Swift, you got Rashad Penny, you got Kenneth Gainwell, so a couple veterans back there as well, not to mention their trenches, both offensively and defensively, are forces to be reckoned with. They have probably the best front seven defensively in the National Football League, in my opinion. So let me ask you this. How concerned are you after Monday night, knowing we played potentially the best team in the league and knowing that they outtrenched us? Listen, Vita had an injury. He's not 100%. I just listened to
he didn't practice today.
Yeah, exactly. I just listened to Rick Stroud on the way here. Vea is nowhere near 100%, so we were down 100% Vita Vea. Devin White got healthy during that one. Jamel Dean got hurt during that one. So are there any signs of encouragement, I guess, that you took away from the Monday night game? Although we got banged up, although we played a very talented team, the wheels came off a little bit. Anything that encouraged you out there on Monday night?
To speak on the injuries are going to happen. I mean, injuries been hitting teams pretty hard this year. Not just our team. It's been a lot of teams, key players that's been injured. And for the last couple of years, they've hitting us very hard. I mean, the year that we went to the Super Bowl, the injuries didn't occur as much, and that was straight out of luck, especially on the offensive line. I mean, it was just spectacular how we made it through that year without those injuries coming to bite us. But as you see now, that is gone, and it's a different day and age now, and a lot of people are getting very severe injuries, and that what causes the game. And two things you can guarantee, two people you can guarantee that's going to get hurt throughout the season is Carlton Davis and Jamel Dean. It never fails. They always go down with an injury. I'm not saying that that's it's not in a good way, but that's how it is, man. People already called it before the season started that Davis was going to get hurt, and now Jamel Dean's playing injured, and he wasn't having his best season, therefore, and I mean it's a crapshoot because it's just any given Sunday anybody can get hurt, and it's like we're wearing it this year, and it's key guys like Vita Vea that's going to be a significant injury to miss, and I think my take on how it affected the Eagles game is if we had everybody healthy, I'm not going to say 100% intent that we would win that game, but I know we would have looked more competitive and it would have been a tighter game. It was a list of things. The play calling was not there. I know it's new for Dave Canales, but it's just some things you just don't do. And sometimes it seems like the fans know, the armchair fans sometimes we know was kind of best for because we're looking at it like, why would you do that? It doesn't make any sense against the number one rush defense in the league. And I've been hearing Dave say, the run sets up the pass, but it's vice versa too. The pass can set up the run also, and you just got to take a different approach when you're out there, man. And I expected to see more versatility. And he said today in his presser that he didn't want to rush any of this offense, but when you got a defense playing like that, you got to put some pressure and be able to strike. It's like we're playing like we're scared to strike first. Like we're gonna just give what. Sometimes you got to pressure that defense, because we have a defense that can compete. Just pressure them and make them feel like we're gonna attack. And I feel like we haven't been attacking.
Yeah. Now let me ask you this, Hunch. You make a great point on the injuries. Obviously, Jamel Dean injured. Sorry if it sounds like foghorn leghorns out my window. I got an airplane flying by. That thing is lower than sin. You have excuse me. You have Carlton Davis banged up. You have Jamel Dean banged up. People predicted that, but it's not like it's new, right? In years past, you had Sean Murphy Bunton was a heavy user of the injured list. In the playoff run that we had when we won the Super Bowl, you had the likes of Javon Hagan and Andrew Adams playing safety at points in time because of injuries and because of the secondary injuries. Last year, you had Logan Ryan injured throughout the season a couple different times. Do you think it's more so Jamel Dean and Carlton Davis that are injury prone, or do you think that there's something wrong with the way the Bucs prepare these guys for combat week in and week out? Because I know injuries happen in football, but man, I've never seen defensive backs get consistently banged up like the Bucs have. And it's not like it's just been Dean and Carlton, right? If it was just them two all these years, I would say, okay, yeah, obviously they're still injury prone, but is there something more to it? SMB, Logan Ryan, and all of those cats seem to get injured a good bit as well.
I believe it's a variation of different things. One of them also being the heat and that climate, like you constantly playing in that heat, practicing in the heat,
cramping up, right?
Cramping up. Your body's got to be hydrated, and you don't know, like, if your body's not hydrated, this goes out, that goes out. You don't move the same when your body and you're exhausted. You don't give enough effort. And it's just a lot of unlucky situations, man, because it's just give and take. We don't know who's going to get hurt and how they're going to get hurt. And it's just one thing about it hasn't been any big injuries, but what it's looking like it can be some lingering injuries with the toe, whatever toe injury Carlton Davis has. Like
turf toe.
He has full participation this week, which is good today. He did. That's a good sign. Like he might play. No Jamel Dean. Okay, now we have D. Delaney. No, his backup. Pitts wasn't on the wasn't practicing today. He was on the injured list. So I mean, if D. Delaney or Carlton Davis goes out, you're looking at what you only got. Well, you got Zion McCullum, but after that, it's just real thin back there. And I give credit to a lot of people in the chat and stuff. They were saying that they were worried about our depth, especially at corner. And
Me and you said that, and
Yeah.
I wanted to bring in Anthony Brown. I know he's not great, but he was a starter on the Cowboys for 4 or 5 years. I mean, what can it hurt at this point?
I mean, what can it hurt? We're gonna have Josh Hayes out there if it comes down to it, and I don't think that's what you want to do. It's a recipe for disaster, but all this plays into back. You know what I'm saying? The money that we spent up front, the years, I believe. So right now you got to settle. You can't just go out there and go get some guys that's gonna just come in and contribute right away. You got to still shop at the bargain store, you know, and pulling guys damn near off the street just to come in and play for us. And I just hope that they get better soon. And I'm gonna say this: I'd rather the injuries happen now, so you have a possibility to get some of these guys back and try to make a run for it later on, versus later on and you lose some key guys, and now your whole football destination going to the playoffs and all that is canceled out because you lose those guys. So it's still early in the season. I'm worried about that Vita injury because it's very hard to replace Vita, and if he's not on the field, man, it's going to be very tough on those guys. And if you don't have Kancey next to him, it's just a recipe for disaster. Logan Hall's been getting thrown all over the place. JTS and Shaq's been getting double teamed. So, I mean, Filer, he's looking. Isn't that his name, Filer? Is that?
Yeah, Matt Filer.
Filer, he's playing a little decent some game, but he's just like a tad bit behind. Like he's not there, the speed that we want. So, I mean, it's going to be a long season, and it's only week 3.
Anthony Brown now, real quick. This is why the 49ers are always so successful. They signed Anthony Brown. He was out in free agency until August 30th. I was pleading to get him, and nobody got him. And then the 49ers just, even though they have a great defense already with a lot of depth, they went out and they brought in a guy like Anthony Brown. Not that he's going to start for them, but that's a depth body, right? I mean, as great as Christian Isian has been, as great as Davis has been when healthy, Dean has been underwhelming, but we know what he could bring to the table. After that, it falls off greatly. It's not like D. Delaney's ever been a huge threat out there. Donnie Pepin saying, Jonathan Taylor, no thank you. I don't.
Too much money and offensive line still can't. First play, did you see that first play of Cody Mock, bro?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, the kid looked like he was swimming in a pool. I mean, it was ridiculous.
And by the time running backs get accustomed to their new teams and locations after they get traded, it normally doesn't end out too well. Plus, Taylor's been out of football for a while now. You'd have to give up assets. If the Bucs trade for anything, give me defense, please. I think the run game, it might not ever get great this year, but it'll get better as the year goes on. Let's remember, Rachaad White, Sean Tucker, Keyshawn Vaughn, all of our backs at this point have never really been feature backs at the pro level before for a long period of time. And this offensive line is very new. This offensive scheme is very new. Before I want to completely blame it 100% on the running backs and say, we got to go get this guy and it's going to be worth giving up a second and a 5th round pick and giving him a long-term deal. I want to make sure we etch out a lot of other problems first. And I want to make sure that, you know, Rachaad White's a young cat. He had a lot of hype coming into the year. He looked good in week 2, not great in week 1 or 3. Sean Tucker hasn't looked great yet either, but I really think if this offense starts to click, if we start using Godwin properly, if Otten comes down with a couple more catches like he should, if Evans doesn't drop some balls, that's going to open up more rooms for the running game.
Right.
And it should help it out. And yes, our running game is weak as shit, but adding a Jonathan Taylor who didn't have a great year last year, who is coming off a big injury, who has a huge price tag, might not help anything. Look at how devalued some of these other running backs are, Cam Akers, this and that. If you're the Bucs, you're better off waiting. Maybe another veteran comes along down the line that might not cost you as much. And if you're still in the playoff hunt, maybe go for it then. But Hunch, we got a regular in the house. J-Lo is in the house.
J-Lo, my guy, what's happening? What's good?
We got Jay Garrison and Emad joining us on Facebook as well. But Hunch, thoughts quick on the running backs. I'd rather add a D-back personally. If we're going to add one of the two, give me a defensive back over running back at this point. Although our run games looked weak, I'd still rather add a D-back.
Yeah, definitely. I'll take some D-line for that depth. Our running backs, I mean, you could put Barry Sanders behind the offensive line. If they're not blocking, it's going to be no good, man. They only can do so much, and our offense is not opening enough holes for the running backs to run consistently. Yeah, Rashard, he can run better. He's not decisive instantly when he makes certain moves when he gets the ball in his hands, but that's partially because there's no holes to actually run through. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we're missing that nastiness to push some guys back.
Yes.
Like Ryan Jensen bought, and you know what I'm saying, he bought that fiery in your face. He's not going down, you know what I'm saying, and the guys galvanized that and moved behind him. And same thing on the defensive line with JPP. When you add guys like that with those leader qualities to just make your team want to go out there and give them their all, then you have a nice stout offensive line. But right now we don't have that. Tristan Wirfs, he already said he's not a big talker. He's not, he's not that type of guy. But other than that, we got some work to do, and I think it starts up front.
Yeah, I agree with you, Hunch. It starts in the trenches. If Vea gets a little more healthy, if the O-line brings a little nastiness to it, we need Hainsey to step up a little bit. I think this team does improve. As J-Lo says, need to get healthy and still plenty of football left to improve. Couldn't agree more. We played possibly the best team and take it as a learning curve. I agree with all of those things, J-Lo. Hunch and I pretty much have said that as well, that we played the talented Eagles. And the running game especially could get better as the year goes on, and we're only going to get healthier. Maybe if Vea is a little bit healthier, that makes a big difference. If Devin White doesn't get banged up, if Carlton Davis is able to roll out there could have been a couple of differences in that game. Jameis next week. Jameis this week. I know it's technically next week, Sunday, but it's this week. I look at it. Pepin giving his score prediction already. We'll get into ours on tomorrow's show. I believe we will have a show tomorrow. We'll keep everybody posted on that as soon as we do confirm and lock that in. And then just a reminder, we will be here Sunday for the way too early pregame show, the first Tampa Bay Buccaneers pregame show every single week. We will be here Sunday at 8:05 a.m. Eastern time. It's going to be incredible. And once again, it is the first Buccaneers pregame show to hit you guys each and every game day. We cannot wait for that. So tomorrow we'll be here. Sunday we'll be here. And then Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern time over on Fox, the Buccaneers are at the Saints. Chris Myers on the call. I love Chris Myers. He's our preseason announcer alongside Rondé Barber. It's Chris Myers, Jen Hale, and Robert Smith, 1 o'clock Eastern time on Fox as the Bucs head to New Orleans to take on battle. Before we get to the Jameis Baker preview a little bit here, Hunch, we're going to talk a brief couple minutes on the Rondé Barber ceremony and give our thoughts on that. I'm not sure if you've seen it yet or know anybody that's seen it, but I was there during half. The two guys that came onto the field to help honor Rondé were Warren Sapp and Tony Dungy. Okay. It looked like Bruce Arians was in a booth helping to honor him. He's still employed by the team, so maybe that had something to do with him being in the booth. And then on top of that, Tiki Barber had a video in as well. It was really a cool ceremony. If you guys are familiar with Raymond James Stadium, our Ring of Honor, all their names are in the 300 level up there. And the ones in the Hall of Fame and the National Football League Hall of Fame have a little NFL Hall of Fame logo next to their names. So Rondé got the NFL Hall of Fame logo added next to his name in the Ring of Honor. Hunch, how cool of a moment for that. Was one of my favorite players ever and one of the best Buccaneers to ever do it on the gridiron, Rondé Barber.
I mean, I wasn't there. I only know one guy that probably seen it, and that's you. And I mean, that probably was a hell of an experience, even going through what we were going through at that time on the field. I mean, just to sit there and have that moment with Rondé Barber and just see all the greats there like Warren Sapp, Eric Brooks, and just to witness that's monumental. No matter where you're at, you don't get those type of moments over and over when you see a Hall of Fame player get inducted. And that's great. I mean, you got to tell me, what did you experience and how did you feel about it? You don't live down here, but to come down here at that game and catch that moment with Rondé, how did it make you feel, and what did you take away from it?
It was pretty special, to be honest. I can't lie about that. It felt incredible seeing somebody who's so monumental to not only the Buccaneers franchise, but really to the city of Tampa and to the National Football League. Rondé's always been an incredible guy. He was
Right.
broadcasting. He broadcast their preseason. He had so many jerseys sold. He created the monumental moment where he shut down the vet and pointed to the name on the back of his jersey. Yeah. I remember when we were growing up, we had kids doing that, right? They'd get an interception. They'd do the Rondé Barber point to the back of their jersey. So he was bigger than Tampa. He was bigger than the NFL. He was football. Rondé Barber was football, and it was truly an incredible honor to say and to see Rondé get his well-deserved place in the Hall of Fame. He gave a great speech. Warren Sapp and Dungy looked choked up. And it's really just a great story, a feel-good story, how he tied in with Bruce Arians as well. I was lucky enough to meet Bruce Arians, Chris Myers, and Rondé Barber last August before a Colts-Bucs preseason game. All great guys, all great friends, all provide so many good memories. As Kenny Barrett joins us, let's go, boys, Saints Week.
What's up, Kenny?
Yeah, what's up, Kenny B? And Donnie Pepin, we are 0-2 with Rondé halftime ceremonies. Yeah, the other one being against the Giants when Matt Gay missed the game-winning kick. That was to induct Rondé into the Ring of Honor. But you can't hold that against Rondé. Our team's got to come better prepared to play and honor the legendary Rondé Barber. I don't hold the two losses against
we
Rondé.
Look like we could have used Rondé out there Monday night.
And he had a joke with the Eagles fans, Hunch. It was pretty funny. At one point, Rondé said, after all we've been through, I want to say thank you to the Eagles fans for coming to see me, poking a little fun at them because he's the one who shut down the vet. So it was really a cool thing. And Eagles fans seem to honor Rondé appropriately as well. I don't think too many of them acted like jackasses out there and uncultured people. So it was really incredible to see everybody, not just Bucs fans, but Eagles fans as well, in attendance at Raymond James Stadium, pay a great homage to a legend such as Rondé Barber.
Yeah, it was something special. I believe it was something. And just to shift back towards that game, it was a lot going on, and I feel like we weren't prepared to play that team at that level right then and there. And we'll get better as the year goes on. We get some key people back, and hopefully we have a little more fight than what we did, because it started to look like we were getting bullied on both sides of the ball, and that's definitely a recipe for disaster, man. I could go on and on about all the mistakes and bad things that happened Monday night.
And Hunch, speaking of things happening, speaking of people coming to town, first, if you guys are watching the Buccateers on our YouTube channel, please remember to like the video and subscribe to us today. That will be a huge help. And if you guys want to follow along with us, keep up with us on Twitter at Buccateers, Instagram at Buccateers Pod. We appreciate all the help there. Speaking of a return to town, Hunch, Jameis returns to town. Actually, we're going to Jameis's town, but he returns versus the Bucs. It's a very familiar opponent. Todd Bowles was on the coaching staff in 2019 when Jameis was here, had that historic year for better or worse. Baker against Jameis, give us your quick thoughts on that, Hunch. What do you expect out of the battle of the former two top picks of the entire NFL draft? Jameis, first overall pick in 2015. Baker Mayfield, first overall pick in 2018.
I mean, it's just the irony of Jameis getting a start when we play him in New Orleans. You know, I think that's really one of the main key reasons why he sticks around there, because he wants to sock it to us so bad. And it is what it is, man. We've been getting the better of them as of late, so I hope that can continue. Jameis, I mean, we know he's a bonehead at times, and he can make some irrational, dumb throws and just gunsling it. But he definitely is a gunslinger. Let's not forget he can sling that ball out there if you slip. So you got to keep aware of what's going on, and you got to be on your P's and Q's, and you don't want to keep getting beat deep. Especially they got some speedy guys over there. They match up pretty well against us, and the injuries are going to play a part. And I think we know some things about James that can help us. Todd Bowles knows what to do. I'm sure they're going to throw some Taysom Hill at us also. So just be prepared, and you got to be sound in this game and play some crisp football. I would like to see us get an early jump, early lead. And but to get back towards what you asked me about Baker Mayfield, they have some of the similar stories, but it's not the same, like Baker said. But they both were number one picks, and they're not on the team that drafted them. So you're just trying to get back and show the NFL that you're here to stay, and you can be your number one quarterback right now. And I feel like they're both competitive. One's trash talking is I feel very good, and the other one is kind of like Nickelodeon compared to the one. And you remember that pregame speech Jameis gave the locker room, and
thought he was eating a bag of Doritos. It turned out it was his fingers.
And not even that one. I was talking about the one with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and he was like, "Yeah, maybe you could just cut it short or something." Ryan Fitzpatrick, when they were sitting together, it was on Hard Knocks. You know what I'm saying? He was just telling him, like, "Yeah, maybe just cut it a little down. Don't make it so long." Yeah, because the guy, it doesn't sound genuine. It doesn't sound like it's a rah-rah speech for a grown man in the locker room. It's more so of a Pop Warner type thing, what he was doing out there. And to go out there and eat a W, and now he's trying to do it every time he wins a game. It's just funny, hilarious. But I'm looking forward to this game, man. Even though I know Baker and Jameis don't line up against each other, I mean, it's basically going to come down to those guys and what they can do to help their team and make some smart decisions. And I'm excited more about this game probably than the Philly game, because it means a lot. It's early in the year. You're playing your division rival. You got the same record. You want to get up right now. And for the Bucs, going into the bye week, that'll be great to go into bye week 3-1 and get some guys back healthy. If you could go inside the Saints and dome and still a win, man, it's very, very interesting. It's going to be one for the Bucs Sunday.
And I think you hit the nail on the head, Hunch, as you referred to a couple of good things. This game is a very meaningful one, and that's why everyone is, such as Coach Todd Bowles, is saying, if we win this one, not a lot of people will be talking about the Eagles game. And I think I agree with that, because it is a division game. And as you know, these games are the ones that mean the most come the end of December, the beginning of January. As J-Lo says, let's see the pass rush take advantage of a not good NOLA offensive line. And when you look at NOLA offensive line, I think that's where we can really take advantage of Jameis, pressure Jameis, and our reunion with him. And remember, Devin White said last year they expected Jameis to turn the ball over against them. I'm sure they expect the same thing this year, for Jameis to turn the ball over against them. So I think we're going to see pressure on Jameis. I think the Saints are going to try and pressure Baker Mayfield as well. I think both defenses will try and get heavy pressures on the quarterbacks, try and force some turnovers accordingly, and see where that can take them. And it's going to be a fun battle between Baker and Jameis.
Yeah, you got to be on your P's and Q's, man. And Jameis is also getting another weapon back, Alvin Kamara. He's been out the last couple of weeks, and he's coming back.
Suspension's done. I thought it should have been a little more.
Right, of course, but he will come back when he play us. I mean, it's just our luck how it's been all year, and you get a Kamara with fresh legs, man, and that could be a dangerous guy if you don't contain him. And Devin White is fighting an injury, so that can be very crucial, man. So I just hope that we can just contain Kamara and force Jameis to throw, because I'll take our chances with Jameis throwing the ball than Kamara running the ball.
I agree with you, as Leo Montavo has joined us on Facebook as well. Thanks a bunch, Leo. And Hunch, it's going to be our Thursday night football part of the show. If those remember last year, whenever we were on Thursday night football, or the year before, we always give a little bit of an NFL or college preview, or if there's both on, we choose which game to break down. I'm going to give Hunch the Lions Packers. Huncho, what do you expect out of Green Bay Detroit tonight quickly? Any thoughts on this NFC North rivalry, and any thoughts on if it impacts us at all?
Oh man, I'm expecting actually a pretty good game. The Packers, they've been looking surprisingly pretty good. They came back on the team that we played Sunday, the Saints, last week. They were down 17-0. So these guys probably feel like they can conquer anything and resilient. They probably don't see anything right now, and they're riding high and they're feeling good, and they know this is a very good chance to continue that streak. And you have a team like the Lions that's reconstructed, and they have a lot of dog and a fight in them, and they're not going down easy. Those guys are fighting, and they're coming off a loss last week, so I'm pretty sure they're looking to rebound and bounce back this week against a team like the Packers this week. So I mean, you got good matchups, you got good defense in the Packers with Alexander. You got St. Brown and those guys, wide receiver over there. It's going to be a good game and I'll be tuned in. So I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'll be tuned in as well. Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen there as well. And since you took the NFL game, I'll just briefly gloss over the 3 college games. We do have a ton of football on tonight, which is a really beautiful thing. I love Thursdays because I'm a big fan of when NFL and college football collide, and it seemingly always occurs on Thursdays. So as Huncho was breaking it down, we do have Lions Packers at 8:15 Eastern time. That's going to be on Amazon Prime. For those that don't have Prime but might be thirsty for football, well, you're in luck because we have a plethora of games tonight. We do have Middle Tennessee at Western Kentucky. That'll be 7:30 Eastern time, and that'll be on ESPN. And then you have Temple Tulsa, 7:30 Eastern time. That'll be on CBS Sports Network. And then for you late nighters, we have 8 o'clock Eastern, Jacksonville State at Sam Houston on ESPNU as well. So Huncho, a beautiful Thursday, 4 football games spanning across the pros and college. Love me some Thursday night football. On this beautiful edition of the Buccateers Tune Me Up Show, remember, quick before we get to our last big thing, walk off and last words, just a quick reminder of the schedule of the upcoming Buccateers. We will be with you guys tomorrow night for our Bucs Saints preview show. Time yet to be announced on that, so we can't wait there. And we are going to announce the Luke Gedecki mini helmet winner on tomorrow night's show as well. And on Sunday, we will be here for the one and only, the Way Too Early pregame show at 8:05 a.m. Eastern time as well. We will be the first Buccaneers pregame show to hit the air each and every game day morning this year. Hunch, last words or walk off, brother? One big thing.
My one big thing is I'm gonna save some of my takes for tomorrow for the Saints, but just to speak on this Philadelphia game and what transpired. I think it's real crucial that Dave Canales and how he's been calling the plays, and he kind of got a little stubborn, I want to say, with the run. He has to be very, very open-minded, and he has to really try to switch things up and get your main guys going. Every ball, every scheme should be directed to get Chris Godwin and Mike Evans going every game, and then everyone else. Also, I would like to see some better run calls playing, like switch it up and do stuff like that, because the way it's going now, that run game is looking similar to last year. It's looking stagnant and weak. And Baker Mayfield. Accuracy, I'm not going to say it's becoming a problem, but I just know we left some meat on the bone when we went out there Monday night with some missed throws, and it's been like that for the last few weeks with Chris Godwin just missing him, overthrowing him. The first week, you had O'Keefe overthrew him. You missed him. Second week, it was Chris Godwin again in the end zone, missed him. and Tompkins, you overshot him. It's just been a lot of those plays that can help us get down there and drive. And when you go and play good teams like Philadelphia, all those throws that matter, because those are game-changing throws that can, help your offense. And we had the defense on the field entirely too much. If you looked at how much time that we had the ball compared to Philadelphia, it's like we had like 40 minutes probably, and Philly had like 75 minutes or something like that. It was a ridiculous number. And that's part, we got to have the offense with the ball more, and we need to come together and find better ways to efficiently move down the field, not just on big shots and just trying, but we have to get first downs and stay out of third and longs, and switch it up and make it simple for just to get the first downs and just keep building like that. And I just wanted to get that out of the way, and that's been the key that I've kind of came to the conclusion was kind of holding our offense back.
Yeah, I agree with you, Hunch. It's been holding us back a little bit, not quite looking for Godwin like we should. A couple of missed throws, but I think drops have held us back as well. Evans has had a couple big ones. Kate Otten has had a couple big ones. So I think if we secure the ball a little bit better, I think we will be in a little bit better of a situation moving forward as well. And my one big thing or walk off heading into tomorrow night's pod is really just keeping an update with the injury report, seeing where our guys are come tomorrow. Carlton Davis trending in the right direction. Devin White is as well. Vita Vea banged a crap a little bit still. See how that turns out and see if we get Carlton Davis back or Jamel Dean. I don't think we're going to get Jamel Dean, but Carlton Davis could surely be a possibility for the Buccaneers back end. Remember, you can keep up with us on Twitter today at Buccateers. You can keep up with us on Instagram today at Buccateers Pod. You can keep up with us on YouTube, Google, Spotify, and so much more at Buccateers Podcast. And you can keep up with me on X at Tampa Tones with one S, and on Instagram at Tampa Tones with two S's to end it there. It's been a beautiful Tune Me Up show. We appreciate everybody for joining. We had Jay Gearson, Ima Dada, Leo Montavo, Donnie Pepin, J-Lo in the house, Kenny B in the house, Nathan in the house, and so many more great Bucs fans join us on this beautiful Thursday. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. God bless. Enjoy football. You got Thursday night football, Green Bay, Detroit. You got college football, Jackson State, Sam Houston State, Middle Tennessee, Western Kentucky, Temple, Tulsa. Great night to be alive for a football fan. Love you guys. Stay blessed. Stay safe as always. And remember, fire the damn cannons. Go Bucs. Go Bucs. Go Bucs. Bucs win. Bucs beat the Saints. Bucs win. They did it. They did it. 3-1 at top of the South. Fire the damn cannons. On behalf of Huncho, Tampa Tones here. The Buccateers are out. We will see you guys tomorrow. Stay tuned for a time, and the giveaway winner will be announced. How great of a Friday is that? Have a beer with us. Have a smoke with us. See you guys tomorrow on the Buccateers.
Game on Sunday, man. I know you're nervous for the Rams, but you got to be a little enthusiastic after being there.
Bro, that game atmosphere was ridiculous. The energy, the electricity. I played with Rock and anyone was there, and a lot of the Super Buck fans were there too. East Buck.
Tampa Tones. We are joined by Lee Doom tonight, host of the Pat and Aaron Show of WDAE, Pat Donovan. And it sounds like Stunna is bumbling a little bit. Going to put him on mute for a second until that gets a little clear. But we're joined by Pat
It looks like
Donovan.
Stunna's hanging out with Cheech and Chong in a car with the windows up or something over there.
It does look like we got a little.
No, my camera's broke.